My name is Lydia Prado. I am the Executive Director of Lifespan Local. So it turned out that Dahlia ended up being, in terms of the community investment, and I think of the conversations we had about the outcome would be that folks in the community felt like they were connected and had a sense of ownership and belonging to Dahlia. That was the goal from their perspective, and we met that goal. So the idea was, could this be replicated? Could we get these same outcomes that are going to lead to, health and well-being for this group of people? Could this happen elsewhere?
My name is Ivan Anaya. I'm a principal at Astucia Development, and I do mostly community impact and affordable housing development services. So I've heard about Lydia for about 3 years before I actually met her. When she was doing her work at the Dahlia Center, a lot of clients that I was working with used that project as the model that they would like to bring partners in and involve them into their community impact projects.
So I was invited to try it again, and when I was looking around the city in terms of where were there groups of people who, had suffered from neglect, disinvestment. Southwest Denver came up, and we ended up in this neighborhood listening and learning in like 9 different languages. This is very diverse. So we know that there are more children under the age of 18 in Westwood than any other neighborhood. There's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of grit, there's a lot of talent. Just gems in this community that we have a lot of challenge in one place and yet a lot of opportunity to do this differently, to build a different future.
I would say that one of the things about Lydia that I'm certainly connected with over the years is both her diligence but also her faith in community that helps her to realize vision. I guess it's bringing me back full circle with my upbringing, growing up in New York City and working with communities and being somebody who was served by folks like Lydia while I was growing up. And for me, this project is about my ability to return what I've been able to build over the years with all of the folks who have invested in me to become an architect.
When we work with community members, when we had conversations with them, we heard a lot of worry and a lot of isolation and pain sometimes, or wanting to do better and not having the tools, the space, the opportunity maybe to do that. So creating this space in which it just comes natural to be that learner, to be that giver, and to learn to be able to receive what you need, so you're not struggling. I think that would be really important and amazing.
What do we want as a community? What are the obstacles? What are we trying to overcome? And a lot of those conversations ended up in, we want community gathering space. We want spaces that we're not being charged just to be ourselves, just to be with our family, just to gather. One of the things that I've heard from the very beginning is that we don't necessarily feel welcome in spaces. We feel like we're not wanted. And so to have a space that is welcoming is going to be, I think, the most critical thing to deliver.
Finding this place and then learning that it was such a landmark to folks around here. There were people who were attached to it. There are people who've already asked me and have used the site for different activities and events that bring, hundreds of people together. I just feel pretty fortunate to have landed here. It feels like the right place at the right time. I want people to feel that this is theirs, that they absolutely belong here, that they're connected, that there is a sense of ownership.
With this project, I'm so excited because we have everything in one place, and that made me so happy. And I know the community, when they know, they happy too. I'm so excited.
I've devoted my life to public architecture, and there is no more public architecture than what this project is about. my hopes for what people feel when they enter this facility, certainly I want them to feel at home, and I also would hope that they would be inspired.
And so to hear Lydia say, okay, we can bring in some of that digital media, that digital art for the young people, to bring in educational groups for their well-being, to bring in music, to bring in cooking and cooking healthy for the young people. These are the kinds of things that help to support every aspect of a young person's well-being. And that's what we want to see. We now have a space. Westwood, for the longest time, has been underserved primarily because there hasn't been a space for the people to get together and do what is necessary to improve the well-being of the community, both at the individual level and the networks level. So this is going to be such a blessing. This is going to be the coolest thing that has come to Westwood in ever that I've known, and I've been at this a long time. So we're here to stay with Westwood.
This space mean the possibilities, a lot of possibilities for development, for grow up, for make relationships for our community. Because our families need information, need the possibilities to do different things. So this building means this possibility, this idea to development in different areas is the possibility to build together. Is the hope our neighborhoods will be better because we are together.
One of the themes when we were talking to folks was distrust of organizations, and the exception to that was the Denver Public Library. They've done a great job of honoring and welcoming everybody in the library. They've done a great job of staffing so that most of the languages are represented. They do outreach, they do early childhood work. And so that the library came up more than once as a trusted entity that served the diverse communities here.
A large part of why the library is going to be on site is because they are, based on what Lydia's team has heard, they are the most trusted, governmental or quasi-governmental entity in the city, and therefore we're really happy to have them on site. The Westwood Library, current Westwood Library is only, I think, 900 square feet. And it's the smallest library in Denver by like 5-fold. And that did not feel good to understand, because at the end of the day, if you look at the demographics of this neighborhood, it should have one of the larger libraries in the city, not the smallest library. One of the most important things to me is that I assist Lifespan Local in putting together a pro forma and an operating budget that will make this project sustainable for the long term. This is an important investment to the community, and therefore I'm using my investment banking background really to bring that type of thought into the sustainability of this project.
I would hope that the outcome is similar to Dahlia, because that was a great outcome. It might mean different components are here or there are different elements, but at the end of an experience here or entering into this space, that folks feel a sense of connection, ownership, and belonging. If we can achieve that, then we will have done a pretty good job.
I know a lot of the Vietnamese community, they usually work long hours, and so just hearing stories about families feeling that they can't support their children, this place will allow families to be families and kids to be kids.
Oh my God, it's a lot. I'm so happy. I almost want to cry because we need this building. We need this work. I try to sometimes dream big, but dreams come true. So I'm so happy.